up, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of The King of Staten Island, the newest film from director Judd Apatow. Before we begin, please hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next, and comment below on any video you watch, including this one. So, The King of Staten Island tells the story of Scott. Scott is, of course, played by Pete Davidson. He's a loner, he's a drug addict, he's a guy who has no direction in his life. And his mom, who's played by Marisa Tomei, his sister, who's played by Maude Apatow, they worry about him because he is so just on the edge of teetering of self-destruction. And so he does something he's not supposed to do, which is start to do a tattoo on a kid. And the kid's father approaches him, played by Burr, who plays Ray Bishop. And in the process of everything that happens, after everything's settled and clear, Ray and Marisa Tomei's character start having a relationship, which really bothers Scott. And so, how that affects Scott, what it does to Scott, and the ideas behind everything that starts happening in this movie is all on Scott himself. And so, therefore, it becomes a major problem for him and how he reacts to everything. His friends, his on again, off again friend slash girlfriend slash one night stand sex partner, who's played by Powley, who plays Kelsey. They're all really worried about him, and I can understand why. So with that said, this movie was extremely anticipated by me. I was really looking forward to it. You have a movie with Pete Davidson, which I really enjoy as a comedian, as an actor. He's the best thing going for SNL right now. You have Judd Apatow, who, when he hits his stride, when he hits that perfection, like with the 40-year-old virgin, and of course Knocked Up, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's done everything from the Larry Sanders Show to produce all these Will Ferrell comedies. So Judd Apatow is one of my favorite directors, whether his films are always good or not. At least he has the chops to do these types of things. And to be fairly honest, it was kind of disheartening to see, because of the COVID-19, that this movie got pushed to VOD. But with even the high price of the movie coming out and how much it costs, I was still willing to pay for it. And I'm glad I did, because I actually really enjoyed it. I think this is Judd Apatow's third best film, and I think the reason for that is Pete Davidson's history, his self-destruction pattern that he's been on recently, his having to deal with his father who died in 9/11 as a firefighter, to him put his personal reasoning and passion into this story, which is about a guy who lost his father in a fire accident, and how he's had to cope with that all his life, how he feels isolated and alone. Pete Davidson's amazing in this movie. He's the best part about this movie, and that's what makes it such a a unique story. Is it something you've seen before? Absolutely. It's pattern of a guy who loses his way, who has to find his way to the end. But I think Pete Davidson is one of those people, kind of like Adam Sandler, kind of like Will Ferrell, that brings something truly unique to the table. I think his passion, his creativity, the fact that he wants to be a tattoo artist in this movie, I think it really does work. I just think the movie's too long. I really do. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it really drags in some parts. There are parts where he just does stuff with his, no good Nick friends who are on the same path that he is on, that just feel, just feel disgusting and feel just like they could be added in like an unrated cut. It doesn't feel like it needs to be in the theatrical cut. I know I know it's dealing with like his motivations and who he is, but sometimes I think he's a little too on the her smell with Elizabeth Moss side, which can be a little distracting, a little bothersome. But I think I think the movie's still entertaining, it's still a lot of fun, and gives us a true dark side, true kind of uprising side to who Pete Davidson is. And you can probably tell, like I just said, that he put his heart and soul into this movie, and it really feels like a personal story he wanted to tell. And the fact that he got Judd Apatow to direct it, and he co-wrote it with Judd Apatow and the person, and the fact that they were able to even get a theatrical release out of it, I think it really shows the true nature of what this film is. But like I said, it's just too long. Like I said, Burr is really good in this movie as Ray Bishop. He's always been a fantastic actor. He was did a small role in The Mandalorian. He's been in other stuff. He's good as that guy who is just trying to have a better life, is trying to give this woman, Marisa Tomei, who's also fantastic in this movie, a better life. But the stumbling block, that roadblock, that just idiosyncrasy of just problems that the Scott character gives him, makes him just like become a much more difficult person to want to root for sometimes. And it's such a shame on that destructive path that Scott goes on. But yeah, he's fantastic in it. I like what Bill Burr's doing here. You know, we have Steve Buscemi who pops up as the chief of the fire department that Bill Burr's character works for, who is that kind of guy has kind of a history with Scott's father. He's going to give some kind of like levity to the situation. So I always like seeing Steve Buscemi and these more dramatic takes and more comedic takes to the role. So I like what he's doing. He's not in it very much. The characters that kind of go in and out of Scott's life are not in it very much outside of Powley and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think what Judd Apatow is doing here is pretty similar to what he's known for doing for a lot of his films. The kind of destructive character that has to kind of redeem themselves. You see it in 40-Year-Old Virgin. You see it in Knocked Up. You see it in Trainwreck. You see it in all these movies. This is 40, all that good stuff. But I do think Pete Davidson in his life and what he's had to deal with really helps the story be more cohesive, even though if it's a little long. And like I said, Maude Apatow, who is of course Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann's daughter, is actually quite good in this movie. She's almost like the good side of his conscience, who's trying to be there for him but really can't. I think Powley is trying to make herself better, but just to see that destructive path that Pete Davidson's on to his eventual, what we know is going to happen, is really cathartic and really nice. So I enjoyed this movie a lot. Like I said, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so that might be a little long for most people. But if you want to give it a chance, because I think, if you can look into what Pete Davidson and Judd Apatow are doing here, I think you'll really enjoy it. So there you go. That's my take on The King of Staten Island. Definitely recommend it. If I would give it a grade, 8 out of 10. So there you go. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this movie if you rent it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Also hit that dislike button, depending on what you think of this video or any other video. Also subscribe to my channel, Movie Emporium, and hit that notification button at the top to find out what's coming next. Otherwise, see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.